Hello, hello. I'm back again. Hi, today I'd very much like to get through the ARR Bard Quests. I have roughly 2.5 hours, a little bit over, which I believe will be enough time, but I will make no statements of confidence. Don't really think I have any preamble. I think by now, all or nearly so of the VODs should be live. Certainly so for all of the role quest ones. Yeah. Everything's live. Good shit. I just realized I put the Yokui in the perfect spot to be completely fucking covered by the duration stamp. That's kind of funny. Anyway, I don't really think I have anything to speak on before stream. I didn't do my society quests yesterday, which tangibly really only means that the next society quest stream will likely not be for a fairly long period. Lamau. I also remade my checklist, but that doesn't really affect anything. It's mostly all the same shit. I only actually added Final Fantasy 16, but that is dependent on me getting completely caught up with 14 and also spending between $120 and $150 on a capture card. So something I want to do, yes, but something that will not be happening for quite the moment. Because looking at the funny list, right? Here's the sum total of everything I still need to get done. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 or 7. There we go. Endwalker raids for the role quests, and then the Tales of Newfound Adventure. Although the Tales of Newfound Adventure, if that's what I think it is, I might be able to tack that on with some other stream topic. Astrology and job quests, it's going to be a minimum of 3 streams. So that's, what is that? 10. Dragoon is going to be a minimum of 5 streams. Or, we'll say 4. So that's 14. Samurai, we'll knock that up to 13. Sorry, no, 14, that's 17. Bard, another 3, 20. Yeah, we're looking at a bit over a month. Minimum, best case scenario. And that's before we get to ARR. But I still have, let's see, it's May. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll say 8 months. Because it's probably going to be latter half of January. I have a chance. Anyway. To begin to capitalize on that chance. Well met, Arentel. Would that we had the time for banter, but we're all up in arms here. Yet another Ixal dirigible has been spotted over the 12's wood you see. Their reappearance calls to my mind the Battle of Griffin's Crossing. Well, I say battle, most are agreed that massacre would be rather more apt. Aye, the Ixal dealt us a crushing defeat that day, right around this time of year, it was, more than 2 decades past. A humiliating episode in our history, to be sure, but heavens forbid that we ever forget it. Failure is the finest, if not kindest of teachers, and few things drive a man better than its sting. But do let's speak of cheerier matters. Mayhap you've already heard, but a renowned archer has recently returned to the 12's wood, the one they call the God's Bow. That's just a title, of course. His birth name is Janethel, and he was once of the god's quiver. The man was a legend even then, but there was no honor greater than being taken under his tutelage. But that's not all there is to him, mind you. Janethel was also a skilled bard, one of the rare few capable of inspiring others to great feats through song. Upon learning that the god's bow had returned, dozens of us flocked to him in hopes of training under a legend, yours truly included. Alas, the meetings haven't unfolded quite as we had hoped. Janethel has refused to teach each and every suitor that has approached him thus far. Though it should be mentioned that the topics he is reluctant to instruct us in do not include poetry and song, he seems exceedingly keen to teach us all about them. Some few of us were tempted to take him up at the offer, save that we have a nation to defend. Far be it from my intent to belittle all those bards out there, but I like my chances rather better charging into battle with a quiver than a harp. And there we were hoping that transcendent mastery of the bow might be ours. By the sparkle in your eyes, I'd wager you have an interest in that selfsame poetry and song. Come now, there's no call for shyness, and there is more to life than battle. If you would present yourself as a pupil to Janethel, I happen to know his whereabouts. I'm given to understand that he has made his camp somewhere west of Quarrymill in the South Shroud. Janethel is an agreeable sort of fellow, and should be willing enough to meet with you. Truth be told, I'm still holding on to hope. If you can find a way into Janethel's confidence, mayhap he can yet be persuaded to train us. I wish you the best of luck, friend. Oh, well, I'm glad I had that go off. I would have guaranteed forgotten to charge my phone otherwise. Well, no. Ah, another guest. You are kind to pay me visit, young one. Naught gives us elderly folk more pleasure than the company of the young. Add to that a steaming pot of tea and the beauty of the Twelveswood, and we could want for little more. Ah, but the curl of your lips tells me that tea and scenery are not what you desire. You seek knowledge of archery, I take it, in which case I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Arntel, was it? Yes, I am Janethel, the one they call the God's Bow, but that was in another life. I have long cast aside my bow, taking instead a harp to my breast. For years I've lived as a bard, going wherever the wind blows, exulting in the beauty of creation through song. To be sure, I still have the eyes to recognize a promising archer when I see one, and you, young one, have promise. Keep your nose to the grindstone, and one day you may count yourself a virtuoso of the bow. Yet know that virtuosity is worthless without virtue. Aye, the words of the ballad of the vainglorious fool tell us as much. You truly wish to remain and learn poetry and verse. Well, I must admit to being rather taken aback. In uncertain days such as these, there are few indeed who would devote their time to song as opposed to more tangible endeavors. You intrigue me, young one. I find myself growing curious as to how the melodies of old might find expression through you. I do believe a certain friend of mine would be of the self-same opinion. Aye, that would be as good a place as any for us to begin. Listen well, Arntel. There's a Moogle named Pukno-Poki who can oft be found wandering in areas situated east of here. I would have you present yourself to him. Pukno-Poki is possessed of a discerning eye for talent. If he sees potential in you, I should be well satisfied that you indeed have the makings of a bard. Heed me, O puissant Althek. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Oh, we're not there. Of course, it's ARR. How fool of me to think they would have additional dialogue. Lamau. Poar, how could this have happened? It's just so embarrassing. A blunder for the ages, Kupo. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? That's a rare talent I'll allow, but you've caught me at a bad time. Now, be a good adventurer and show yourself out. Janethel sent you. You should have said so sooner. You do know that Janethel is no ordinary bard, yes? His songs can salve your heart and strengthen your resolve. They can banish your fears and fill you with hope. And that's not even scratching the surface. Why, to hear him perform is like bathing in sunbeams. I've asked, begged, and pled more times than I care to count for Janethel to stay and sing in the forest. Only now has he deigned to set foot here again. But he's refusing to sing for us. That's a blatant breach of promise. But what's this? Why, your being resonates with a chord similar to Janethel's, perhaps even identical. By the 12, this means that things may yet turn out as planned. But you might even have it in you to surpass the man, that's saying a lot. Egads, your coming had excited me so, my predicament nigh escaped my mind. There's a charm that I had meant to give to Janethel, you see, but it was stolen as I napped. I roused just in time to espy the thief and attempt to give chase. Alas, drowsiness robbed me of my balance, and I was delayed by these trees. Last I saw of that overbold brigand, he, or possibly she, was scurrying towards Taker's Root. Now I realize we've only just met, but would you mind recovering the charm and delivering it to Janethel in my stead? Last I saw of the overbold brigand, he, it is the same line. Wow. What is it? It's done. That's what it is. Cool. Have you recovered the charm? A quaint keepsake made of a single tiny crystal. You did it, Kupo. Please, you must now deliver it to Janethel. Tell him that Pukno Poki thinks him a cunning rogue, but is excited nonetheless. So excited, in fact, that he cannot help but sing. Welcome back, Arntel. You seem to have a charm and a message for me from Pukno Poki, you say. A cunning rogue, am I? I suppose I must explain. Pukno Poki and I go back a long way. To when I first took up the harp, I made a promise to him one that I have yet to make good on. Pukno Poki has long desired that I remain in the Twelveswood to sing for the rest of my days. Regrettably, I have been ill able to oblige him. Duty called, you see. I had battlefields to stand upon and comrades to protect. Moreover, an event came to pass that rendered my being in the Twelveswood problematic. I thought that by taking eager souls such as you under my wing, mayhap it would suffice to appease Pukno Poki. Of course, he saw straight through my little ruse. What the Muggles lack in grace, they amply make up for in wit. The creatures are great lovers of song. That you return with this charm and is proof positive of his high regard for your potential as bard and archer both. The charm is a crystal known as the soul of the bard. Pukno Poki asked that you bring it to me. Aye, but he meant for you to have it. It is a gift from the Muggles bestowed upon those that they deem worthy of walking the path of the true bard. Soul of the bard harbors memories of the past, verses and refrains sung by bards of old. As you gain in worldly experience, more of these memories will find expression through your being, imbuing your song with powers untold. Now, it may surprise you to hear that bowmen and bards are as next of kin. By the same token, mastery of song is dependent upon one's prowess as an archer. The sense in this will be lost upon you at first, but in time the realization will dawn that bow and harp are but stringed instruments played by the same hand. Go now, Arntel, and let your body and soul drink deep of the melodies of old. When next we meet, I hope to see a fully fledged bard standing before me, one who exceeds even Pukno Poki's wildest expectations. Ranged bard. Ah, that glint of determination in your eyes is a testament to your newfound strength. You put me in mind of my salad days, Arntel. Would know why I truly abandoned the battlefield and became a bard. That I took an arrow in the knee is the most common, is what most folk believe, but it is quite clear you are not most folk. Very well, I shan't insult your intelligence with an untruth. For now, allow me to answer by saying that everything in creation is given to change, and man most of all. I was drawn to the power of song, the power to touch the very souls of men, and decided that I must pursue it. Sadly, that power has been all but forgotten in this age of cynicism. Such songs as those performed by tavern bards serve no purpose beyond the amusement of drunkards. But that was not always the way of it. There was a time when song could shape the outcome of a conflict. Ever since nations first quarreled, armies have fielded archers wherein they rained death upon the enemy from afar. As the battle unfolded, however, the distinction between the lines of friend and foe would grow hazy. Yet the archer's part did not end there. He had to stay ever alert, with arrow nocked and eyes trained upon the struggle. Even as comrades fell, turning the earth red with their blood, the archer could ill afford to avert his gaze, lest that moment cost another his life. One need not have a vivid imagination to appreciate the torrent of emotions that raged within him in that moment. Nerves near to fraying, his breast fit to burst, the archer did the only thing he could. He sang. His bow became a makeshift instrument, plucked as an accompaniment. At first the archer sang only to still the roiling within, but his voice chanced to carry to his comrades. It inspirited those engaged in combat, lending strength to their sword arms, and to those who lay upon the precipice of death it granted a measure of peace. Realizing the tactical potential of song, yet loath to set aside skilled archers for that purpose, armies began raising dedicated regiments of minstrels. But the members of such units were no warriors, Arntel. Fair of voice and nimble of finger, these career minstrels could find a place in the hall of any lord. Yet they knew naught of the burden borne by those who charge into battle, whose lot is to dance with death, sup on pain, and so their song rang hollow, holding no power over the hearts of men. In eastern Lanasia, spirits are said to haunt the trees of Rain-Catcher Gully. I would ask you to travel there and await the emergence of these specters. Through force of arms, you are to release the spirits from their tormented existence, and in the doing, ease their unfathomable suffering. With such a deed might you draw forth an ancient melody from the soul of the bard. Shit, I don't have that. Huh. Welcome back, Arntel. In your eyes, I see a layer of understanding, of regret, and of futility. In your heart, it now echoes with the stains of an old song newly discovered. Embrace this song, and as you play it in battle, shall ever more powerful emotions beset and temper your soul. When your stock of tales has grown, pray return and regale me with stories of your adventures. It is good to see you return, Arntel, and more seasoned still for your time in the world. Call me a spoony bard, but as a man in the winter of his years, it gives me great joy to observe an adventure in the spring of his. This is an odd time for recollection, but it was a spring day when a bard first came to my hometown. He played the most sorrowful chords, even as his words tantalized the ear like the breath of one's first love. Many a maiden's heart was stolen during his visit, and doubtless more besides. Arntel, would you believe that common bards, too, were born of archers? This may seem far-fetched upon first hearing, but it isn't so far a stretch. Ask yourself this: what becomes of soldiers when conflict gives way to peacetime? Some have lives that they might return to, but most must needs take up a new trade to make ends meet. Well, it so happens that many who had once bent the bow took to strumming the harp. They wandered the realms, singing passionately and earnestly of the war as seen through their own eyes, of sweet victories and bitter defeats, of sacrifice and cowardice. Their songs so captured the imagination of the people, nary a day passed that a bard was not called to perform. But be it in a humble tavern or some great lord's hall. Alas, their popularity proved their downfall. Intoxicated by the attentions of the masses, the bards took to embellishing their songs in a bid to outdo one another. And over time, each song was shorn of verity, till the bard's repertoire contained not one shred of truth. By now, you will know that such songs have no purchase upon men's hearts. Certainly, a bawdy tune may set off fits of laughter in a sailor, and a sorrowful ballad summon tears from the eyes of a soft-hearted maiden. Yet these are but pale shadows of what songs can achieve. For a blessing, this decline did not escape the notice of the Mughals. As great patrons of the arts, they feared that the true power of song might be lost to mankind. For so it was that they labored to gather and safeguard those crystals known as the souls of the bard, that they might be bestowed upon worthy men and women. Now, well as I know you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of the lesson. I know I have mentioned this previously, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the ballad of the Vainglorious Fool? Vainglorious? Nay, well, that won't do at all. We must remedy this post-haste. The song recounts the massacre of Griffin Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gridanian lives came to a premature end. But do forgive me, I seem to have mistaken the proper order of things. Before I begin, I must be convinced that the point of the tale will not be lost upon you. Elsewise, I will have wasted my breath in the telling of it. Now heed well these instructions. You must make your way to Welwick Wood, where besides a matted pair of outgoats, they have but recently lost a kid. The pair has been driven mad with grief, and only death will put an end to the uncontrolled rampages. Linger in their territory until you encounter the beasts, then let fly your arrows of mercy. As you liberate them from their sorrow, so too shall your soul resonate with the echoes of poignant melody. In part, we just... I guess I can do this. Why the fuck are you attacking me? Get the fuck out of here. Welcome back, Arntel. I can almost hear the cries of mourning they have seared themselves upon into your soul. Goodness. That you remain unbowed by such anguish is a testament to your spirit's fortitude. Yet even as the heart swells to contain these new experiences, you must not neglect your skills with the bow. A resilient heart must needs have a robust body in which to beat. Once you have trained both to equal strength, then I shall perform for you the ballad of the vainglorious fool. Welcome back, Arntel. By your tranquil countenance, it is plain that both your body and soul are in readiness for the next stage of your journey. Very well, the time is ripe that I teach you the ballad of the vainglorious fool. The song tells the tale of an archer of the gods' quiver, whose peerless skill was surpassed only by his hubris. Alas, that hubris led to the annihilation of his entire regiment at the battle which has come to be called the Massacre of Griffin's Crossing. Standing guard in dead of night, an archer weary of the sight, drunk on pride and starved of glory, forsook his post to claim victory. 10 score yalms had the archer crept, when shrieks rang out, and whence his comrades slept. For he was not there to see the knives, nor to ring the bell and save friends' lives. Tell me, Arntel, what lessons can be learned from this tale? Ah, but hold that thought. What your tongue claims to understand interests me not. As before, I'd sooner have you demonstrate the fruits of your learning with bow in hand. This time, however, you shall have the pleasure of my company. I would have you escort me to the Gelmora ruins in the North Shroud. It is there that some few fallen from the massacre of Griffin's Crossing have been laid to rest. Pray honor this place of remembrance with a bouquet of lilies. Heed me, O puissant Elphic, cast thee back the reins of the firmament, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Goodbye, tree. The enemy van. No, I cannot. Why do I still draw breath? The sin of the past would be another. Forgive me, Arentel. GG. As you have doubtless noticed, I am no longer capable of wielding a bow. I whom they call the God's Bow. I had hoped that the years would take the edge off the memories, but I hoped in vain. Absolution does not come so easily. Heed me well, Arentel, for I shall reveal all to you. The man sung of in the ballad of the vainglorious fool, whose hubris doomed an entire regiment, he and I are one in the same. Being no stranger to the bow, you will know that the archer's role in battle is that of support. His charge is to thin out the enemy line, that his comrades might gain ground in the field of battle. By that most basic of criteria, I was unfit to hold a bow from the first. In my pride and lust for glory, I sent countless souls to a bloody grave, good men and women all, with loved ones and bright futures awaiting them. I lost the will to live that day, becoming an empty husk of a man, tormented in sleep and wakefulness both by the memories of my crime. But the gods were not without mercy. They gifted me with song, that I might find a measure of solace in my wretched existence. A new melody resounds within you, I see. Though this outing was rather far departed from what I had in mind, that it still bore fruit gives me comfort. On that note, let us conclude the lesson. I dare say I have no cause to worry that you will repeat the selfsame mistake as the vainglorious fool. Arentel, I would be alone for a while. Take yourself back to camp. I shall make my own way there presently. Oh, you're still here. Hello, Bree. I'm glad to see you safely returned, though I rasped my voice hoarse through the saying of it. I cannot tell you enough times how much I regret dragging you into such danger. And yet there is more I would ask of you. If you would do me the kindness of lending your ear, then pray speak now. You will listen to my request, though you know me for the vainglorious fool I am. I am humble. The boon I ask of you is simple. I would have you sing for me. A heartfelt performance, masterfully delivered. You have come far in such a short time, my young apprentice. Hearing your song this day, I am convinced that you are well on your way to surpassing me as a bard and archer both. Soon there will be naught left for me to impart to you. Arntel, you have proven yourself worthy of the consecrated garments worn by the true bards of old to honor the keeper. I speak of the choral attire. The attire was entrusted to me when Puknopoki and I first met. Deep within the Twelves Wood, the Moogle and I had traced scarce more than a handful of words when he proffered to me the attire along with the soul of the bard. At that time I knew not the true power of song, and so declined the gifts. But Puknopoki would not be denied. For all his good humor, the Moogle can be as unmoving as a rock. The attire chooses the wearer, not the other way around, he insisted, and I found myself yielding to his will. In mastering the verses of war, I won acclaim beyond my wildest dreams. Upon the field of battle, and for the time I was pleased. Alas, my lust for glory knew no bounds, the consequence of which you are already aware. It was in the wake of the massacre of Griffin Crossing. Stricken with guilt, I wanted naught more than the earth to open up and swallow me whole. I had lost the will to live, but I was too craven to end it myself. And so I took to wandering aimlessly in search of a place to die, far away from the judging eyes of men. Disillusioned with the power of song, I committed an act of folly. I scattered the choral attire across the realm. If truly the attire chooses its wearer, I challenged, then let it find its way back to me. Determined that I would not be proven wrong, I went to great pains to ensure that the attire would never again see the light of day. The pieces now rest in places of peril. Being the proud fool that I was, it never crossed my mind that mayhap another was meant to don it. I would entrust the choral attire to you, Arntel, but as you can see, you must needs brave the dangers to claim it. I shall mark its whereabouts on your map, but I can afford you no further aid beyond that. I am deeply sorry that my folly of years past has entailed this burden upon you, but Althik works in mysterious ways. In his wisdom, it may be that he has sent this trial to test your spirit. I mean not for my sentiments to encumber you, but I am convinced that you are the one chosen by the choral attire. But pray do not take that as license for complacency. Trials won't be called such if they failed to tax one's ability. Stay ever on your toes, Arntel. I would have you return whole of body and bearing the foreparts of my sundered raiment. Heed me, O puissant Elphic. Reverse the seasons, turning that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. We're not fully there yet, but the Bard Quest, primarily in the early stages, ARR, reminds me a lot of Dark Knight in its tacklings of concepts surrounding like survivor's guilt and just, you know, the regrets of the hero of the story. Basically, what I'm saying is the canon progression of the character is. And I mean, technically speaking, in 1.0, or who would become Meteor Survivor starts as an archer, and then later becomes a warrior. So, you know. It does take him a hot minute to get to Dark Knight, but... It will never happen, and I do believe I have shared this desire in the past. But I do really wish that at some point they would release a way to play through the story of 1.0. Just the story, like, or like have an in-game movie or just something, because I feel that something is missing from the narrative of the game for not being able to experience that at all. Right? I'm reasonably confident that, like, if you do enough digging, you can find all or most of it scattered across YouTube. But, like, you know, I think it'd be nice. And for fuck's sake, I think it would give people a greater respect for Minfilia's character. You know? Because all of the cool shit that Minfilia ever did is like 90% located in 1.0. And then for all of the ARR, she's just kind of fucking a point man sitting in the fucking basement of the waking sands, sending you headlong into the jaws of death. So you have returned, sound of body and mind I trust, and you bear the 4 parts of the choral attire. I knew you for the true owner of these garments ere I heard your song. Since the day we met, your determination has reminded me of much that I have lost, and would have again. Power Ranger? I have at last settled my heart on a matter that has plagued me for some decades. When my preparations are complete, you shall know of my decision. Until then, may your song lift the spirits of your allies, and your arrows seek the hearts of your foes. You have done well, my young apprentice. Returning with the choral attire, you have reaffirmed my faith in you. I see no further reason to withhold from you the existence of the final piece in the set, the piece that has brought us together. Listen well, Arntel. When I put down my bow, I vowed never again to set foot in the Twelveswood. Now that I forsake my oath, is for no other reason than to impart my knowledge to one who would succeed me. Lest you wonder why I should deem that so important, permit me to relate to you an event which brought about a great change in me. My most recent journey had taken me to Ul'dah, where I found myself ambling through the marketplace early one morn. Browsing the wares on display, mine eyes were met with a relic from my past, a piece of the choral attire that I had discarded decades before, countless moons away. I felt at once that it was not mere chance that had reunited me with it. and put forth my coin with nary a pause. Holding the garment in my hands, I resolved to find a worthy heir to my legacy. Alas, no sooner had I arrived in the Twelveswood than I found myself mobbed by archers seeking to hone their skills. Amongst those who came, not a one showed the least interest in poetry and verse. Sorely discouraged and regretting my decision, I made to strike camp and leave the Twelveswood once more, never to return. It was then that you appeared, young one. When you expressed your desire to learn song, I could scarce contain my joy. Looking back, I am fully convinced that our meeting had been preordained. Your coming has instilled me with the courage to attend the matter of which I spoke earlier. I am ready. Ready to take a pilgrimage to the scene of my regiment's demise. Ever since that fateful day, I have been haunted by visions of my fallen comrades, torment graven upon their bloody faces. Lost to hope, but too craven to end my own life, I wandered the land aimlessly, seeking a place to die, but the heavens denied me even that. Yet, just when it seemed that despair would draw me wholly into black abyss, never to emerge again, a melody resounded within me. It was then that I awakened to the power of song and found new purpose in life. I embarked upon a journey to master such verses as would bestow peace upon the fallen, and I might lay the tortured souls of my comrades to rest. It has taken long years, but now I believe I can offer a requiem worthy of my comrades. To do so, however, I require one last favor of you, Arentel. I would have you escort me to the west of the observatorium in the Fourth Central Highlands. It is there that we shall find the scene of my regiment's demise. Your presence kindles within me a courage I had thought lost. I would have none other by my side as I undertake this pilgrimage, now as I enter the most daunting stage of my life. Once you arrive, I ask to pay your respects with another bouquet of Nemea lilies. When my requiem is sung, you shall have the final piece of the choral attire. Heed me, O puissant Elphic, reverse thee the dance of the stars, athwart the night sky, that we might ease the suffering of souls long departed. I am back. Motion use. Wow. We are surrounded, and our foes seem disinclined to listen to parley. We must survive this, Arentel. My soul is overburdened with the deaths of too many dear companions. Don't worry, I have plot armor, it's fine. One of the first things I hope to add with ability glamour is I really want, not but I really want Wise Volley back instead of the like Shadow Grip or whatever it's called. Because it's such a worse looking ability. It looks like fucking as opposed to Wise Volley that like looks rad as hell. There's a couple abilities like that. I'm trying to think who else has one. I want to say maybe Machinist as well, where like they get an ability upgrade to what the animation was before they added the lower level version, and the lower level version just looks cooler. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? Oh, it was I mean, okay, so arguably I have a similar feeling about Sage with Toxicon. I think that the lower level Toxicon looks cooler, but that I feel is more extremely subjective. I think I'm in the minority there, but I really like the image of like your new Oliths just kind of fucking pulling a Gundam, just fucking zipping all over the goddamn place. Anyway, Arundel, without you I would not be standing here this day. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, my friends, I have kept you waiting over long. The keeper be praised. I can wield a bow once more. It was you, young one, who helped me to remember how. I had known this for some time, but your presence is as a salve for the wounds of my soul. Your coming has delivered me from the nightmares of my past. My worthy successor, to you I entrust the final piece of the choral attire. Don it and go forth to fill the hearts of men with courage and purpose. Though the seasons may turn, bending a man's back and dimming his eye, so long as there is life there is reason to hope. Thank you, Arental, for showing me the truth of this. With the blood of my comrades upon my hands, to simply draw breath racked me with such guilt as I could not bear, for the time for mourning is past. I shall take up the bow once more and lend what aid I can to the gods' quiver, in fighting for those who yet live. I do my fallen comrades the greatest honor. Yet another melody resounds within you, I see. Then there is naught more I can impart to you. As equals, let us together give praise to life and all the joy that it brings. Heed me, O puissant Elphic, turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might exalt in the glory of all creation. In thine exalted name we sing, that the lives that the living may savor life, and the departed know true peace. And that was only an hour? Huh. I thank you again, Arentel. You have blessed this old fool with the gentle touch of salvation. Yours ye awaits. Go forth now and inspire endless hope and courage with the beauty of your songs. May we one day meet again. Bard's a lot shorter than I remember it being. Damn. Then we got fucking Rogue over here. It took me fucking 3 fucking streams to get through. Fucking 6-hour fucking thing. Goodness. Well, I guess... No, like, I got through the first part of Ninja pretty fast. I think I may be being unfair. What? What? No, I'm getting dragged into the fucking YouTube algorithm. I was looking at my fucking playlist. Where is it? Where is my playlist? That is not what I wanted to do. Why are you like this? View playlist. Mana cutter. I mean, I'm only an hour in, which does spur within me the distinct temptation to, again, tempt my fucking fate. Yeah, like, even the Arcanist quests took me about 2 hours. Extrapolating from, the part 2 being where I opened up all those fucking magic packs. Rogue took me almost 4 hours. I was right, yeah. What was going on over there? Anyway, I mean, I suppose I could start the... I mean, are there any party finders to fill? No, there are not. I don't really have any other, like, weird little side things to, like, get cleared out. No, that's not the button I wanted to push. Not main scenario. What are you? Oh, no, never mind, ignore me. That's Echoes of Vanadil. Lamau. Yeah, no, I've done all that. Done all those. I haven't done you, but, or you, but you are your whole own things that are a fair way away. We're not touching Hildebrand. I could probably get Tales of Newfound Adventure done. I can believe that. This is like probably less than an hour of content. No, it's not what I wanted to do. Wait. Why don't I have what am I missing from Mount Rockon? Huh? Or not Mount Rockon. Aloha. Huh? I did all the routes. I probably have to check it with Matsuya. It's fine. Legacy of Louiswa. That'd be a way to kill time. And nothing in here is going to be a thing. Wait, what is this? Huh? Guidance, please? Is there congrats, wait a minute. Is there actually an Omnicrafter quest line? There's no fucking way. No, I don't wanna. I'll pass. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do the Tales of Newfound Adventure. I have like, what, an hour and a half left? Just about, yeah? Tales of Newfound Adventure. We're gonna do this as, Reaper. You'll understand very quickly. I was not expecting the ARR quests to be, like, only an hour. Usually it's about 2 hours. I guess, like, I think Archer was unironically longer. Archer was longer than Bard. That is... so interesting. Okay. Over here. Oh no, it's down this way. I recall this. Ah, Master Arntel, you couldn't have appeared at a better time. You see, while out patrolling the city, I chanced to sight a void scent. I immediately chased it down with the intent of eliminating it, but something about it struck me as odd. For one, it made no move to defend itself, but simply sat there, jiggling, which is why, against my better judgment, I decided to capture it instead. Having traveled through the void, I dare say you have considerable knowledge of its denizens. If you have a moment, might I trouble you for your opinion on the creature's unusual behavior? I am truly grateful. Now, if you would follow me, the creature is being held in the Hall of the Radiant Host. The voidsent glowers in your direction, but says nothing. Here it is. Surprisingly docile even when I captured it, but there have been no reports of attacks prior to that. Even so, it's the nature of voidsent to prey on people for their aether. Perhaps it bides its time, waiting to carry out some manner of scheme. You, I remember you. Yes, you were at Toria. Please, you must help me. You were at the castle? Indeed I was, but I've since fled here. I understand the immortal tongue well enough, but I don't have a mouth to produce the sounds. It's been a struggle to convey my thoughts. But not anymore. You can help me. Yes, you can. You can converse with the voidsent. Amazing. Could you ask it why it came here? When you and yours stormed the castle, I was caught up in the fighting and died. In time I returned, but I tire of fighting, so I fled using the gate to your world. Having just been reborn, however, my essence hasn't fully bound together yet. And so, when I emerged from the gate, it was as several sundered cells. Frightened and confused, they scattered. Following their trail led me here, my diminutive size allowing me to remain largely unseen. But by the same token, I can do little more than sneak about. Each of us was weak and powerless. That's why we consumed one another in the first place. Together we were strong. I want you to help me find all of me so that I can be whole again. What do you intend to do in this world? Why, live here, of course. I've always wanted to. We still remember the past, you see. Still remember when we were mortals. We long to have that life again, but we need your help. Starting by reuniting us, we won't try to devour anyone, even when we're whole, I swear. You wish to learn more about the Void, yes? There is much we can teach you about those who rule its domains, about their past. Find the others, and then they'll tell you all they know. No eating, no tricks. Do we have a bargain? So it crossed over to our world to escape conflict, and now searches for the rest of itself. I understand voidsent are quite reliable when it comes to fulfilling a pact, and I dare say having one as an ally would benefit our research into their world. Very well, if you would be so kind as to search for its kin, I will consult my superiors on how best to deal with them. By that, I take it we have a bargain. Good, good. I sense 4 others close by. When you find them, we need only point them in this direction. Once they sense my presence, I can guide them the rest of the way. Like me, the others have an interest in the lives of mortals. They are bound to be here in the city. My thanks again for your help. If you could see the other voidsent back here, I will tend to the rest. What's that? I asked you to search for me in exchange for knowledge about powerful void send. I was still wanting to see this and that, but I suppose a deal's a deal. Those men over there, soldiers are they not? We used to have soldiers in our world too. There were lots of them during the Contra Memoria. Ah, back from the Weaver's warding, are you? I hear you fought well against the void sent that slipped through. Come now, I merely did my duty. Haven't we all sworn to protect our nation no matter the cost? Protect our nation. How familiar are those words? Where was it that I heard them? Ah, yes, it was the early days of the Contra Memoria. The enemy had conjured a terrible eidolon that laid siege to a fortress. The garrison was made up of ordinary soldiers, men and women, with no remarkable abilities, but led by their valiant commander, they fought bravely and desperately. They had to last until the Memoria arrived, the commander told them. You needed to hold out no matter the cost. A Memoria did eventually arrive, but not soon enough for the soldiers. Having struck down the eidolon, the Memoria and his servant searched the castle for survivors. They found only the dead. But just when they had given up all hope, a faint groaning reached their ears. They rushed over to the sound and cleared away debris. To find a lone survivor, the garrison commander. Instead of joy, however, the sight of the man filled them with anger. Your soldiers are slaughtered to a man. There's barely a scratch on you. What's the meaning of this? The eidolon was savage, but mindless. It was a simple thing to hide myself beneath fallen debris. Hide? As a commander, you had a duty to your men. You were supposed to put their lives before your own. Spare me. My duty was to ensure the fortress stood, and it did. Besides, my death would have achieved nothing. Honor be damned. No, I'm sworn to protect our nation, and to do that I must live. It isn't my fate to fall here. It isn't your fate, you say? Is he merely unconscious? Come, let us bury the soldiers and their commander with them. Fate shall decide what becomes of him, whether he lives or dies. Very well, my lord. Funeral rites were later held for the fallen, but solemn tears quickly gave way to horrified screams as a body emerged from the earth. The commander. I can't die, I must live, the man is said to have declared. The people thought him a demon, a disheveled horror, muttering curses as he wandered off to regions unknown. Scarmiglione, they called him, a name befitting his newfound grisly visage, a name befitting a monster. We thought him buried deep. An immortal's desire to live is not to be underestimated. You are mortal, so I expect you understand that desire. Well, that concludes my tale. I'd best rejoin my cells, if you'll excuse me. Eighth grade shard. Oh dear lord, Endwalker is fucking Sproutville now, isn't it? Holy shit, I wasn't ready for that. Anyway, moving on. So, this is where mortals consume Aether. Dreading loneliness more than hunger. How very like me. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to observe the mortals a while longer. The food here is simply sublime. Why I feel stronger with every bite, as if the Murga themselves were granting me their blessing. The food is tasty, that's true enough, but no food is so sublime as to be a substitute for proper training, my friend. Stronger with every bite, every feed. For my part of the bargain, I will tell you about how we Voidsent become strong. Simply put, it depends on the quality and quantity of Aether we harbor. When the world was consumed by darkness, the heroes known as Memoriates arose as powerful Voidsent. In contrast, the vast majority of mortals, powerless and unremarkable as they were, became ordinary Voidsent, like me. There were exceptions, of course, but one in particular I'll never forget. Scarmiglione. Never had I seen a Voidsent so craven. Even when pushed to the brink of starvation, he would prey only on those weaker than himself. He subsisted on scant leavings and lived in constant fear and hunger. In the face of danger, a Voidsent stronger than himself, fleeing was the only option. But a day came when he found his way barred. How pitiful. Such overwhelming Aether. Who is this? You fled instead of facing your foe. Why? Why? I am too weak. Why else? I would have been devoured. So had you enough strength, you would have stood your ground. Very well then. What's happening? Yes, I feel it, the power swelling within me. Lo, your foe returns. What have you done to me? I granted you but a sliver of Aether. 'Twas with the power you already possessed that you defeated your foe. I possessed such power. Fear had clouded your eyes, blinded you to the strength you had attained feeding on the weak. If you would free yourself from fear, then join me. We shall have a greater cause to live for and know true power. Curious how, in a world without death, the fear of it could be the key to great strength. The knight recognized this, recognized the Voidsent's potential, and thus did he take him into his service. Determined as he is to live, it wouldn't surprise me if he's still somewhere out there. Nah, he's dead. He's gone. He'd be even more powerful now, I expect, from all the devouring you would have done since. Unlike your world, eating actually makes you stronger than ours. Well, I must be going now. The others are waiting. He's in a funny crystal. Lolamau. Kangazzo and Rubicante are fully dead. Scarmiglione and Barbaruccia are in funny rocks. My other self grows lonely, you say. My apologies, it was my intent to seek out the others, but I was distracted by the bickering pair of mortals yonder. My goodness, there's been some colorful language. Yikes. To hell's with your father, you shouldn't need his permission just to leave the god's damned house. Please mind your language. What would father say if he were to hear you? Oh, it's always father this, father that with you. I'm sick of it. You're your own woman now. Bloody act like one for a change. Colorful language, yes. Not from the girl, though. Oh no, she appears to be quite well bred. I just hope she's happier than the girl I knew long ago. That girl was born into a family of thugs who suddenly found themselves nobility. She was raised as a noblewoman and had servants tending to her every need, but in the end, she was merely a beautiful bird kept in a gilded cage. Wanting her to be a proper lady, her parents presided over all aspects of her life. They decided everything for her, telling her what to say and do. Chafing from the fetters of her restrictive life, she solicited her handmaiden's aid and stole outside the manor, where she enjoyed a moment of bliss, unbeknownst to her parents, or so she thought. It was not long before her father dragged her back to her room, barring the door and windows, denying her even the simple pleasure of an afternoon breeze. Even a bird in a cage may chirp freely, but she wasn't even suffered to give voice to her desires. But she wouldn't be deterred. Having once tasted sweet freedom, she yearned for more, and one day she succeeded in sneaking out of the manor a second time. You're late. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come. You're expecting your friends. I'm afraid they're not coming. But father, what do you mean they're not coming? I had known that some miscreants were cavorting in these parts, but to think that they dare try to consort with my daughter, well, you needn't worry about them anymore. They're food for the fishes now. How could you do this, father? Why must you torment me so? Know your place, girl. You are a means for our family to gain influence, and I won't have you sullying yourself with riffraff. You will not leave your chambers, save with my permission, nor will you disobey me again. If you do so, there will be severe consequences. Am I understood? I said, am I understood? To hell. What did you say? I said go to hell. Based. Legend. Oh, to think that it could be so exhilarating to speak my mind, to do as I please. No more living in a cage. From this moment on, I am free. Free as the wind. The young woman struck out on her own, and in her travels discovered her true calling, not in the halls of lords and ladies, but on the battlefield. She became a force of nature, famed for her striking beauty, which belied a terrible savagery. And with this new life, she also claimed a new name, Barbaricia. Indeed, she found her freedom. But did she also find happiness, I wonder? I suppose I'll never know, nor does it matter, for the world that once was is no more. Oh, but goodness me, I had better rejoin the others. Any dialogue? No? Damn. Ah, what a refreshing breeze. I'm to return to the others. Bah, they should come here. Would you look at this beautiful boundless sky? Mortals take the air from here, do they not? Would that I had wings to soar among the clouds myself. But we void sent are not wont to roam, you see. The mightiest among us crave our dominions, while the rest labor to stay in their good graces. Now the master of a domain seldom ventures outside, for it is in one's territory that one is strongest. For some, however, such confinement proved trying, as was the case for a certain void sent I knew. I speak of the free-spirited terror Barbaricia. When she first established her domain, she whiled away the days waiting for her minions to bring her prey. The aether amassed from these offerings was devoted to the singular pleasure of caring for her silky flowing locks, but the resources of her domain were not without their limits. It was only when none remained to oppose her that she realized she was a prisoner in her own domain, and unless she broke free, she would inevitably wither away alone. Not knowing what to do, she had fallen into the depths of despair when the hand of salvation came to pull her out. At this rate, my precious hair will frazzle and fray, and I only the strength to leave my domain. If strength is your desire, that is easily granted. So much progress. And what will you do with it? What is your desire? What I desire? What I desire is... domain. Impressive. That I can do such a thing. What have you done to me? I granted you aether, nothing more. It was your will that made it possible. My will. Even so, no matter where you should go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be? Destination? I have no need of such. I wish but to be free, like the wind. In a world that has met its end, rare indeed is a soul who desires freedom so ardently that she could will her very domain to move. Recognizing this quality, the knight would grant her more power and a place of command in his mighty army. A story worthy of our bargain, I trust. I might have had more to tell had I not fallen off her domain. It seems you mortals also have a fondness for flying. I'd certainly like to try riding one of those airships of yours. But perhaps another time, my other selves will be a blubbering mess if I don't hurry and rejoin them. You have found the last of the Void Scent. Time to head back to the Hall of the Radiant Host. The Void Scent are all present and accounted for. So long as they remain here, we needn't worry about panic among the townsfolk. Thank you so much for finding me. I hope the knowledge I've had to share was worthy of our arrangement. More than worthy, I'd say. They told me of Scarmiglione and Barbariccia. My other selves lived quite disparate lives, both as mortals and Void Scent, though I suppose it is rather fortuitous that they crossed paths with such powerful Void Scent. But more importantly, what they could offer what was worthy of our bargain, for that I am glad. All that remains now is for us to rejoin and become whole again. Huh? Is this not all of me? There can be no other explanation. There is still more of me lost out there somewhere. But I don't sense them. Where could they have gone? You mean that there's more of them wandering about by the sisters? At the very least, if what you say is true, they pose no threat to the people. Until the others can be found, we will keep these 5 under our care. Should I sense the others nearby, I hope we can count on you to find them too. It isn't Master Arentel. Since last we spoke, I've continued keeping an eye on the Void Scent. While the creatures have given me no reason to believe that they pose a danger, the rest of them will remain at large. My fellows and I have yet to come by any eyewitness information. But their forms being what they are, they cannot have gotten far. Of course, it would make our search easier if they were likewise drawn to Ra's Khan. Other selves have been telling me about their adventures. Truly, your world is a fascinating place. The world is fascinating too. Adorable. So you've enjoyed hearing my tales. I would be glad to share more with you. Once I have found the rest of me, that is, the others have more knowledge of mighty Void Scent, you see. This sensation. Could it be... Yes, I feel them. The rest of them. They're very close now. There's 4 of them, and unless I'm mistaken, they're somewhere in the city. Please find them for me, that I might be whole again. As before, by way of payment, they will tell you about powerful Void Scent and their pasts. Now, the nearest appears to be this way. Perhaps that's a good place to start. The rest of its fellows have appeared in the city, then you had best track them down. Judging by the direction, I expect the nearest one is in Dharma. I leave the creatures in your capable hands. The others will have seen some sights of their own. How I look forward to hearing their tales. Worry not, I will see to it that these ones do not wander off. Best of luck finding their fellows. I have to go back and do the Alliance raid soon. Maybe I'll do that after I finish Bard. Just get the rest of the Echoes of Vana'diel done. If I wait too long, I'm never going to get through a queue. And... good things about it. I missed out on the last fight, or one of the fights. Apparently, they changed the arena because people were getting sick. Link. You've been looking for me, you say? Sorry for the trouble. I found a place with water, with beautiful water, and thought I'd have a rollick, but ended up being washed away. I tried to get back upstream, swimming against the flow, and had managed to come this far when you appeared. After all that effort, I'd like nothing more than to reunite with my other selves, but if you've been promised a tale, then you shall have one. Nothing but small fry. See that mortal there? He fished me up, but promptly released me while calling me a hideous slug. I don't know what that was about, but it worked out well enough. Oh, to be out in the open sea and catch something big. But until I can afford a halfway decent rod, I'll just have to put up with this tired old fishing hole. I know the feeling well, the desire to chase after big fish. I used to be a fisherman too, you see, together with my brother. But the Contra Memoria wreaked havoc on the ocean's aether, and nary any fish remained to be caught. Each morning, we would wake up not knowing whether we'd have food to fill our bellies. On a day like so many before, we were waiting in vain for a bite. My brother's face was fixed in a grimace, and I assumed he was cursing the war in his mind, but it turned out he was thinking about something else altogether. And when he finally spoke, the frustration was plain in his voice. Even if there were fish to catch, is this how I'm going to live out my days? Sitting endlessly with a pole in my hand, it's like dying a slow death, and I can't take it anymore. More so to our privaton. It was the mundane, or privation? Unchanging nature of our lives that bothered him. In the next instant he blurted out, "That's it, if there's a war, I'm going to fight too. That way I won't be bored at least." And just like that, he threw aside the rod and set off, right into the thick of the conflict. Damn it. It's over. Who the hells are you? Whoever you are, I am in your debt. Having exhausted my powers, I was all but defeated. But now none remain to oppose me here. Perhaps you would consider serving me. You would be well rewarded, of course. I could grant you riches, castles. What's the meaning of this? Weren't you a friend? Friend, I'm just after some excitement, so come on, give it to me. There you are, thank heavens. What were you thinking, taking on Memorias with your bare fists? However strong you may be, you're lucky to be alive. Alive. Yes, I've never felt so alive. Where are you going? No more chasing small fry for me. From now on, I'm going to live for the thrill of battle. I'll seek out those stronger than me, and I'll give them all a taste of my fist. Never have I felt so alive as I did, risking life and limb, he said as he strode away, never to return. Sometime afterward, a rumor reached me of a fearsome warrior. The man would arrive unannounced on a battlefield, trounce anyone and everyone indiscriminately before disappearing again. Kagnatso, he was called, and cursed for a feral dog. That was enough for me to know that my brother still lived. It was only when I became a Voidsent that I came to understand my brother, to understand the emptiness he felt in his mundane life. It inspired me to want to break free from my own unchanging existence, and instilled in me a longing for this world. And for all his quirks, he was a good and kind brother, always looking out for me and helping me with my fishing. Like everyone, he must have turned into a Voidsent. If he had the chance to come here, I believe he would have found a purpose in life, a proper one. Thanks to you, I could relive those old memories, and with that, I had best go and join my other selves. Be seeing you. Next, let's try this one. What business does a mortal have with me? So the rest of me are safe, thank goodness. It was worth risking myself to let the others escape. No sooner had we arrived in this world than we were attacked by fearsome creatures of stone. I drew their attention, but after scrambling hither and yon, I managed to get myself to safety. But to so jealously guard treasure, you mortals must truly be fond of it. Lo, there's another place of storing right there. They say it's mountain after mountain of treasure in there. We just need to find the coffers that act as portals. And then survive the guardians and deadly fiends. I don't like our chances with just the three of us. Less of us means a bigger share for each. Exactly. Besides, what's an adventure without a little danger? I'm really not sure about this. To willingly throw oneself into danger, it's truly a strange mortal quirk. Unlike your kind, we Voidsent are quite risk-averse. For instance, we wouldn't think to challenge a stronger being. Except for him, perhaps, an odd fellow who loved fighting for its own sake. His name was Kagnatso, and there was nothing he feared in his domain. Employing deception, he trapped his foes, drowned them in a bottomless mire. It mattered not how strong they were, all fell before him. Yet despite his victories, he never felt truly satisfied, and through a chance meeting, he would learn the reason why. That you should repel my attack. You're tougher than I expected. To whom do I speak? I am Kagnatso, and I'll bet you're the one that they say is seeking out the strong. Well, if it's a battle you want, then you need look no further. Lest you misunderstand, I do not desire a fruitless battle. On the contrary, it would seem that it is you who seek out the strong. Why? When you're hungry, you devour. It doesn't matter who. Your luck ran out when you strolled into my domain. None would so risk themselves simply because of an empty stomach. Nay, my friend, the source of your hunger lies elsewhere. What is this aether, so pure and sublime? There's so much of it, and ripe to burst, and yet I still don't feel satisfied. You see, it is not for aether that you thirst, but battle. You'll not quench this thirst with stagnant swamp water, nay, not save that of a raging torrent will sate you. What do you mean? There is no joy to be had in ensnaring your quarry. For victory to have savor, you must place yourself in the midst of danger. If you join me, I shall see to it you never want for dread foes to grant you satisfaction. What say you? Why do I feel as though I have remembered something important? Whoever you are, I would know more. And thus did he find a place to belong, upon the fine line that divides the devourer and the devoured. If he could do battle with just one worthy foe, he told himself, he could go to his rest forever satisfied. From that day forth, Cagnazzo tirelessly sought out those who might be able to best him, each time hoping for bliss, but knowing that, like as not, disappointment ultimately awaited. A yearning so strong nothing else matters. Do you have such a thing driving you too, mortal? Looking back, it was extremely reckless for me to come to this world, but it has been worth every bit of danger and more. I can't wait to share my experiences with myself. I'll be on my way now. Thanks for coming to find me. Hello, stranger. You're a challenger too. Seems House Seigneurs deign to open up a part of their treasure vault in an effort to lift spirits in the city. Fog. Oh shit! Nope, not that. The rest of me are here too, what a relief. I was taking in the sights in a village nearby when I realized I had become separated. I'm glad I decided to follow the clamor and head to the city. There are so many mortals here, so many beautiful buildings. Father, what is this building? This, my boy, is the resting place of the great Alzadal. Centuries ago, he journeyed here from the mainland and helped to end the war between the Matonga tribes, an act which laid the foundation for the nation of Razdatan. So it's thanks to him that we all get along. Ah, a tomb, a place for mortals who remember their dead. It calls to mind people from my own past. My mother, who died in the Contra Memoria, and the ones who laid her to rest. Long, long ago, there lived two powerful mages. It was said that none could match their might, yet they nevertheless continued to hone their skills at the training ground atop a peak called Mount Ordeals. One day, fell fiends began attacking villages, unprovoked. Upon hearing the grim tidings, the mages came to a resolution. Through years of training, we have mastered our flames. 'Tis time for us to employ them for the salvation of our world. So it was that the pair descended the mountain and set about vanquishing the fiends. Just one left. Leave it to me. No, don't. Please don't hurt her. Don't hurt my mother. Your mother. Please save her, I beg you. What do I do? Seems I have no choice. But she's turned it into a crystal. I said that I would save the world, but I couldn't save even a single life. My flames were meant to be like the sun. They were meant to protect, to keep warm and light the way, and yet... In his great fury at his failings, the mage's face turned red as a ruby. Thus did the girl choose to call him Rubicante. The mage returned to his mountain where he buried his comrade. Upon the gravestone he etched words of admonishment and continued his training alone. One day, when visiting his comrade's grave, he found that a familiar crystal had been left there. Its presence lifted a great weight off his chest. Without words, it told him that the girl was grateful for what he did. That day, he regained something he had lost, and descended the mountain once more, and he embarked upon a journey, determined to use his powers for good. As sad as it is to lose a precious life, it's sadder still, I think, to lose one's purpose. Mount Ordeals has been swallowed up by darkness, and his comrade's grave with it, but wherever Rubicante may be, I like to believe that the little girl still remains in his heart. Well, it's past time I rejoined the others. It was nice talking to you, mortal. Hello. There we go. What? I'm calling me, you say? I can appreciate my separation anxiety, but I answer to no one, not even myself. I am my own master. I do what I like. When I like, I will rejoin the others at my own leisurely pace. Mortals, on the other hand, always seem to be busy at work. Short as your lives are, one would think you'd spend more time on leisure. They're truly strange creatures. Still burning strong, just like the start of the experiment. Lively sisters were tending the flames, mind-numbing work. Someone has to do it, I suppose, but I just wish it wasn't me. Tending the flame. That reminds me of a void scent I once knew. He watched over a beacon fire, seeing to it that it remained ever lit. Unlike that mortal, however, he did it of his own volition. Such an act served no practical purpose in our world. Even if night and day existed, we void scent don't rely upon light, yet he persisted. Though perplexed by his curious ritual, I've somehow found myself helping him with it. Rubicante was his name, and he never went about his task dutifully. Others mocked him for his meaningless act. But it must have held some manner of meaning to him, and so when I chanced to find the beacon guttered out, I made certain to let him know. For time out of mind, his routine continued, uninterrupted, until that fateful day. I see flames dancing in the distance. Who should I find tending it? The mage of considerable might. With such power, surely you can do more than keep a beacon lit. My flames serve not to smite others, nor to sate my hunger. Then what purpose do they serve? I cannot say for certain, but to simply behold this flame somehow sets my heart at ease. I see, it would seem you lack the power to comprehend the feelings engraved upon your soul. But such a lack is readily rectified. This warmth, invigorating and comforting. Where have I felt it before? Of course, the sun, that which once shone its light upon creation. Though it would set, never did it fail to rise again, and like the sun, my flames must never die. So that is the way of it. Through your flames, you sought to recreate the sun's journey, to recreate the world as it was before. Who are you? Who would unearth memories buried in the deepest recesses of my heart? It matters not who I am, but what I seek to do. Join me, and together we shall banish the darkness and see that the sun rises again. According to the mysterious knight, the price to save the world was dear. The inhabitants of the neighboring reality must be sacrificed, to which Rubicante replied, I have sworn to use my power to save the world. If innocent souls must be consumed by my flames, then I shall bear responsibility for the sin. Thus did he choose his path of his own volition, and his spirit lives on in me as an undying flame. The world engulfed in darkness had become the norm for me, but since coming here and basking in the sun, I've been reminded of all that we had lost. I understand Rubicante better now, understand why he was willing to sacrifice all to restore the world to the way it was. To him, it was worth the price. Well, I must say, it felt great to take a squirm down memory lane. With that, I shall now rejoin the others of my own volition, of course. We found the mass of the Void Center. Time to head back to the Hall of the Radiant Host. I'm actually jumping down there to grab that Aetherite shard. Wow, I fucking got caught on this? Bullshit. One, two, three. Is this all of us? All of them then? You did it. You found all of me. I trust I upheld my part of the bargain and told you about more mighty Void Sand. I learned about the paths of Cagnazzo and Rubicante. So you had already crossed paths with them. Though the tales may not help you in the battles ahead, I dare say they gave you something to think upon. As mortals then Void Sent, then Archfiends, these troubled souls fought with all their being, and now their fight is over. Well, I myself have only heard the tales from the others. If I am to make their feeling my own, I need to become whole again, which I can do now, thanks to you. So all of them are accounted for, then by all means, let's have them return to the way they were. Without further ado then, to me, myself. At last, we're whole again. There's nothing we need fear. And that, with each of us experienced since coming here, it's as if I had experienced it all for myself. I say it again, but this world is truly a fascinating place. I must see more of it. I must. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but now that it's whole, I can't help but feel that it's more of a danger. Yet, with the undersea portal destroyed, there's no way to return it whence it came. Whatever should we do now? What's this I see? Oh, it's Void Sent. There's a few of them in that direction. More of my brethren made it over, it seems. Curious, though, this is much farther than I can usually perceive. I can only assume my vision has improved. Could this be the cumulative effect of our experiences here? What? It can sense its kind from a vast distance. Amazing. Such an ability would make the task of tracking down invading Void Sent a breeze. If the creature would agree to assist us in this manner, I'm confident that I can convince my superiors to forge a pact with it. Oh, if it means I can remain in this world, then I'd gladly agree to that arrangement. I can't say how much I'm indebted to you, mortal. Working with this fellow here, I'll find a way to communicate with your kind and make myself useful. Thank you for everything. I could have swore there was one about Golbez. Oh well. I will be on my best behavior until I forged a pact. It's nothing short of a dream come true to be in this world, and I'll do whatever is required to remain. With regards to communication, as a creature appears to understand our words, I believe I shall begin by teaching it letters. With some effort, I'm confident we'll be conversing ere long. Okay, well with that, I've gotten to 2 hours. I've knocked 1 1/4 things off of my checklist. I'm pretty happy with this. Hypothetically, maybe I could have done the, what is it called? The Heavensward Bard Quests in this time, but I think that's a little shaky. But yeah, I'm happy enough with that. So, I'm going to be wrapping here. Tomorrow, I would say I have a 50-50 shot of streaming. It depends how long it takes for me to make my granola tonight, or if I do. So we'll see. But whensoever next I stream, it will be the Heavensward Bard Quests. If I am somehow blessed with a deluge of extra time, I might chance at least starting the Stormblood ones, but no promises. But yeah. After I complete the Bard Quests, I do think the next thing I'll work on is completing the Echoes of Vana'diel. That will almost certainly be spread across 2 streams, unless my queue pops fucking instantly, but yeah, that's right, funny, huh? Yeah, that'll also be on Aether, and oh fuck, I'll be streaming fucking early as shit in the morning. Yeah, let's not get our hopes up. But yeah, that'll be all. So I want to thank anyone for stopping by who did. I really appreciate anyone who gives me the time of day. And until I stream again, have a good one all.